Anybody who's watched any of my previous videos might be shocked to know that there was a time before Joni. In fact, this artist led me to Joni in a way. The first time I saw Tori was the summer of 1996. It was a Dewdrop In tour, and she played A Case of You. And I remember thinking to myself, is this a Tori B-side that I don't know of? Anyway, but we're here to talk today about Little Earthquakes, which to me is probably her absolute greatest achievement. It's her debut, but it's just so much. It's the culmination of a lot. Rick Beato really recently did a great interview with her where she was so into it and so real. You could tell she trusted him, so she was very open with him, and you could also tell that he admired her a lot, so it really came across. And you know, look up that interview. It was amazing. It was one of the best interviews I think she's ever given, frankly. And I really like Rick's channel anyway. So shout out to him. Now, Little Earthquakes to me is one of the best debuts of any artist ever, but it's not really her debut. She tried once before this as part of a band called Why Can't Tori Read, which is good. I mean, it's of its time. All right, they were really trying to be something, and it just didn't work. Then they gave her a shot, and she was like, I just wanted to sort of just be like me and my songs and piano forward, and you know, watch the Rick Beato interview. She gives a whole story about how the album came to be. How I came to discover it was my very good friend at the time had a tape in her car of Little Earthquakes, and I loved Crucified. And it was like, could we play that album? But we really would only like play this song initially. But then we got little by little, we got more and more into the album, and it like became such a huge part of the soundtrack of our lives, especially at that time. We were all like 17, 18 around that time, all discovering life, discovering, important things. And this album is really deep. A lot of imagery and a lot of life lessons are on this album. Sadly, some of the darker things on this album we even encountered at that time as well. There's a lot to unpack here. Obviously, I'm not going to unpack everything on this video, but I want to appreciate the songs. I want to appreciate her songwriting. Got enough guilt to start my own religion. Like, hello. Tori's use of religion is amazing in her writing. Her dad was a preacher, so it kind of makes sense that she would have a lot of religious imagery, and she would fight with religion pretty much through her songs, which I really, really admire. It's funny, I wanted to lower this a little bit, but then this is like kind of like my favorite part of the song. Interesting here, her use of interlude there, very Joni-esque, and also her use of I'm not comparing her to Joni in a frivolous way because I don't compare anybody to Joni, but I always feel like if Joni, Kate Bush, maybe like a little bit of Robert Plant and Prince had a baby, somehow Tori would come out. Or Prince got in there, but I don't know. When Tori's feeling, I just threw Prince in for fun because Prince has really nothing to do with Tori. Anyway, although she does a great version of Purple Rain, which I love a lot. So let's go to the next song. For I don't know how long this song, I would wake up and it would be like in my head. Interesting. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. Paging Dr. Freud. It has nothing really to do. Maybe someday you'll be your own. I like that sort of idea. Tori's songs are hard to be like. This song is about X, Y, and Z. Some are straightforward, yes. Others, I don't really know, and I don't really take guesses because I don't want to be wrong, whatever. But this song is pretty sort of straightforward, I guess. I don't know. Like, is it an abortion? Is it something? I don't even know. Something's going on here. I love that song though. Cutting to silent all these years just because We'll listen to the whole thing too because it's so beautiful. I'll make it a little louder. Excuse me, but can I be you for a while? Is like one of the best lines ever. Um, I got the Antichrist in the kitchen yelling at me again. Creepy. I love her. Tori's lyrics are so out there sometimes. Been saved again by the garbage truck. I got something to say, but nothing comes. Yes, I know what to think of me. You never shut up. I can hear them. I was born in 1978, so by the 90s, I was like in my late teens and my teens, and Tori's music was just at the right place at the right time. And I just like that I get to put out into the universe right now via this little channel of mine how important her music was to me and to my friends at the time. And even still to this day. It's hard sometimes to listen to the music of that era. I have a lot of friends that sort of don't listen to her, maybe because she's evocative of a certain time. That's why I listen to her. And other people just move on, whatever. But Tori will always be with me. I never want to let her go. I want her with me all the time. I may not, she has a lot of albums later on that I'm not like exactly as crazy about. And that's of no fault of hers. It's just I haven't given them the deep listens that they deserve. But these first few albums to me were like next to nothing. I couldn't not listen to them. They were just on my constant rotation. Especially, the first Tori album that came out in real time for me was Boys for Pele. So that's sort of like where I came into her. So she had 2 albums before that. But this album, Little Earthquakes, when I came back to it, I'm going to tell you a funny story about Silent all these years. So beautiful. I'm going to just lower this a little bit. As you can tell, if you're a watcher of my channel, I love Madonna. And in the 90s, this video was up against Madonna for best female video or whatever. And in the video, Tori's in these boxes, okay? And I'll never forget, as a teenager, I was like, who's this bitch in the box? Because she was up against Madonna. How disgusting. How ashamed I am of my teenage self. Because years later, when I realized it was her, I was like, oh my God. Look what you wish her wrong, whatever. It's funny. But look, she became an equally one of my favorite artists as well. So, I like the idea, but what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of yours with her name still on it? Hey, but I don't care, because sometimes I said sometimes I hear my voice. Sometimes I hear my voice. And it's been here. Amazing. Her piano playing, she's a prodigy, she's played her whole life, but I guess it helps because it's like her piano playing is so perfect and it's such another part of her language. Like she's talking, but so is the piano often, which I just love. Only somebody who really knows the piano could write a song like that, Seeing Tori live is a very transcendent experience. I've been lucky enough to see her live. I've lost count. Okay, me and my friends would go see her almost every tour back in the day. I haven't seen her now in 2 tours. I'm slipping. But Precious Things live is always like such a great, amazing feeling. And hearing the crowd scream inevitably when she says, "So you can make me come, that doesn't make you Jesus." The crowd always goes wild at that because it's a great line. This song is so powerful. It fits so perfectly on this album because it sort of anchors the album down here in the middle here, and where she takes you after this, she goes real deep. The drums. These precious things, let them break their hold over me. Please. I'm just saying. He said, you're really an ugly girl, but I like the way you play. Oh, God. Men are the worst. Anyway. Oh, Tori. Myra Ellen Amos. I think that's her name. I kind of love that, though. I prefer Tori, though. But I thanked him. Can you believe that? Sick, holding on to his picture. Dressing up every day. I want to smash the faces of those beautiful boys. Those Christian boys. So you can make me come. It doesn't make you Jesus. Like, what? Who wrote something like that? This is like in the 90s. Pat Robertson must have like shit his pants when he heard that. Anyway, tell her that name. I just spit on my own floor. She spit on her own floor. Goodfellas reference. Okay, so Winter goes back to that tape that my friend had in her car, because this all started because my friend had a girl sing Winter at a talent show in her school, and she was like, "Who's that?" And the girl told her Tori Amos, and then she went out and bought the tape, and then I heard it. So that's kind of Winter was my way in to Tori by way of my friend's friend. The song is so powerful, so beautiful, so gorgeous. I get a little warm in my heart when I think of winter. And it's December too when I'm filming this. You could be watching this at any time, but right now it's December. It really fits this time of year, frankly. It's amazing. But Sleeping Beauty trips me with a frown. See, I just think she said trips me with her frown. Interesting. When you're gonna make up your mind? I feel this way about a few friends of mine. When you gonna love you as much as I do? There's nothing worse than loving somebody so much and seeing their self-esteem tell them that they're like worthless. I'm sure some of my friends go through that with me too, because my self-esteem is a bitch, honey. But I love this song, obviously about her father, but also universal themes going on here. You say that things change, my dear. I also love the analogy of like the winter melting, the seasons changing as like time, boys get discovered as winter melts, flowers competing for the sun. And her piano here is so haunting and beautiful as well. Go to YouTube and look up Tori Amos live at Montreux? Yeah, Montreux Jazz Festival. Girl, it's the beginning of her career. It's like when Little Earthquakes is just coming out, or is it even out yet? I'm not even sure. It is so good. There's two of them. It's like a 91 and a 92. They're both fantastic. But Winter is particularly amazing on these particular live performances. Tori's one of those artists where her live performances are better or just as good as her studio stuff. People always talk about the Grateful Dead and Fish and other bands. I think about Tori when I think about live music. She's one of my absolute favorite live performers. Tori and the B-52s. This is my wheelhouse right there. But two of my favorite live performers right there. All right. We'll go to Happy Phantom because it's such a crazy, goofy, weird, amazing song. But I like this idea of heaven, of like all these like people that you admire or that you think of as famous people. Buddha, Judy Garland together. What an interesting thought, And I will never need umbrellas in the rain. I'll wake up in strawberry fields every day. I love that concept too, frankly. I would love that. What? What edit? Anyway, I still don't understand what she's so happy about here. Like woohoo, it's time. I don't know, but it's creepy and I love it. Which is a big part of why I love Tori, frankly, because sometimes you're like, what is this? Uh, I want to go, wear my naughties like a jewel. Okay? So right here, there'll be my ticket to the Universal Opera. There's Judy Garland taking Buddha by the hand. It's so good. It's like, anyway, they say Confucius does this crossword with a pen. Sure he does. He's a smart guy. Tori, you're hilarious and adorable. Now, we go from like hee hee ha 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 to like boo hoo. Because it's see, it just grabs you. Now, I can feel the distance. I'm biting my tongue a little bit here because this song holds some personal meaning for me. But I don't want to make this into like a therapy session. So what I'll do is I'll just say that you're right next to me, but I need an airplane. What a great line is that? Are you kidding me? Like, it's such a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. China, the place, and then she talks about China as like the ceramic when she talks about the cracks showing. Just a really deep, deep, deep song. If you're lucky enough, I think it's probably on YouTube. There's a video for this where she's on the coast of England at this place where these rocks are everywhere, these rock formations, and then they made some formations themselves. She makes a piano out of the rocks. It's a really cool video. This album will be, go down in history, frankly, as one of like those like confessional singer-songwriter albums. And the thing about this is like, it's not so cut and dry. You don't really know what she's actually saying sometimes. But this song to me is very straightforward, and it could really rip your heart out if you let it, frankly. I'm gonna keep going just because Leather. This comes out of nowhere too, though. Look, I'm standing naked before you. Don't you want more than my sex? It's kind of. Also, I can scream as loud as your last one. Yikes. But I can't claim innocence. Tori has a very interesting, complicated relationship with sex, we'll put it that way. Sex has been used against her as a weapon, but she also uses it as a weapon too, which I love. I love how she like sort of grabs the empowerment of it back a lot, all throughout her career and her persona, all of it. I'm a big fan of like the light overtaking the dark, so that's how I see that, frankly. I could just pretend that you love me. The night would lose all sense of fear. But why do I need you to love me when you can't hold what I hold dear? See what you're saying there, honey? Oh, man. Oh, God, why am I here if love isn't forever and it's not the weather? Hand me my leather. That just like goes off here. I always picture like bar, like I love that, so cool. Now, there was a time that I was gonna fly the coop. I was a teenager. All right, I wanted to leave. I wanted to move to San Francisco, like my uncle did. I wanted to be like my cool hippie uncle. And I remember listening to this song one time. I was with my whatever he is. I don't want to say ex because we were never really together. But I was coming home from his house and this song was playing. And I remember I was like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna tell my mom I'm moving out. And like by the time I left and the song was over, I was like crying. I was like, I love my mother. I'll miss my mother, whatever. And to be funny, not to be funny and ironic, whatever, she was gone within a few years of that. So I'm glad I didn't leave. Frankly, I would have been totally mortified by that. Uh, but this song was very important to me at the time when I needed the strength to try to move. And honestly, my life isn't over, and I don't want to be stuck here the rest of my life either. So I still draw strength from this song, you know. And it's so powerful. That piano. Out of the nest this time, go, go, go now. Circus girl without a safety net. I was ready. Well, but then I became the nest. So there you go. This is not a therapy session, Kevin, so please move forward. The song is called Mother. What the hell you want from me? All right? I'm like really being hard on myself here. First, my left foot, then my right behind me. One second in front of the other. Okay, so 1999. I'm not sure the year. Whatever. My friends and I, the New Jersey Pack opened. Pause.